Good morning, everybody. Thanks for clicking your way back to the good old Southern IA. We're on planting season vlog number 2 here today, and we hope we can get to planting some soybeans and stuff. But after I left you guys last night, I continued to work and I got a few things done, and I'll tell you about those. However, before we jump too far into it, well, let's remember that you guys can win a sticker in this video by being my favorite comment within the first 24 hours. And to celebrate the beginning of the planting vlog, the first video to hit 2,000 likes, which equate to back scratches here for Bandit. Whoa, whoa. Nobody likes those back scratches. You frozen? Did you freeze? And also, when we reach 25,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away another hat. After we left you guys yesterday, we hooked that Kinsey repowered 8630 up to the grain cart, got her backed into the spot where the planter was, unhooked for it, and now she's ready to be left there for the summer. Then put the 8630 back into its spot for another long nap. At that point, I said, Andrew, go home, take a siesta, and we'll see you in the morning. And I came out here to continue to push on the dirt on these terraces. We still have terraces to build here on my farm. My dad had pushed up dirt here and kind of roughed it in the other night when we were doing some dirt work. So I came over here and then started shaping these back out. These are called a steep front farmable back. Normally my dad, and I'm starting to really like them myself, is just push up terraces, steep front, steep back, and then you leave kind of a gap. Well, the purpose of this is that you're supposed to be able to farm the whole back side and top side of this terrace. Well, that takes a lot of dirt to get put up in here. Plus, we got to have a real gentle slope since we're running a 24-row planter. We want to make sure that we can actually plant it and it doesn't get some weird wonky wing things going on. Unless, Brian, when you're done, you want to send us down that Fendt Momentum planter and we'll give it a real test on some of these curves down here. And terraces and knobs and washouts and gullies and curves and point rows and goat paths. We got it all down here. Then the last thing I want to mention is it does take quite a while for me to get these videos put together for you. And I was up late last night editing yesterday's video. So Molly's going to try and edit this one here together for us, guys. So let her know in the comment section below how she did. And then also that's kind of a warning. So if it's focused on my butt a lot for some odd reason, you'll know why. Start out here this morning. I'm going to put some pure power juice in this tractor. And then we were having, or I was having, the trouble with the ECU on this tractor's egg leader here. It wouldn't steer itself. It kept coming up with an error code. And why it was doing that, I'm not sure. So I'm going to hop on the phone with tech support, which egg leader has a fantastic tech support. It's top notch. And they'll tell me what to do here. This ECU and on-track system hasn't been in this tractor or hooked up with that monitor and that globe, so there might be something that's not talking. But hopefully I can get this fueled up, filled up, my coffee drank, and computer fixed before the guys show up. Oh, look what I got. Look what I got. You are wet. You are soaking wet. What are you doing? Laying in the mud, water? My dew indicator with his extremely wet belly says there's a lot of dew on this morning. So one hop, skip, and a jump later, it seems like we got it fixed. It actually just powering it off and powering it back on, which I had done previously. Seems like this morning it wanted to work. I don't know, maybe it just took time for them to start talking with each other. But I kind of hate when that happens, when you get on the phone to try and figure out what's going on and it's decided that it's okay. Good deal though. However, I still do now need to teach it to steer, which is a pretty simple process here. And so Egg Leader has in their system kind of the basic specs of what implements and tractors are. That you just got to select it. So you go, for instance, this was, they just say it's an articulated tractor. then it goes to the manufacturer, which is John Deere, and then it goes to what model it is. With this is a 9400. You can't see it. And then it comes up with basically already the axle splits and stuff. It's really a good deal to get out and measure those to make sure they're all correct, and that will give you the best peace of mind. But for this instance, we're not going to be doing that here. I just know where the globe is. It says that the globe from the articulation point is 17.7. Actually, this one is closer to about 22, so we're going to change that. I did know that one. It's fore aft is not. We're going to leave the height the same. So now it wants to do a manual steering override. I'm going to do stave limit. Check. I'll go to the next one. Then we go. Here's where we got stuck yesterday. So we're on a flat spot. Finding 0 tilt value. It errored out here. And now it didn't. Now it's not going to error out, which is perfectly okay with me. See, now we just turn it around so it knows the other way that we want to be. I'm turning. Resume. Now we gotta put it in first wheel gear, and then we gotta get it above 2 miles an hour. See, there's a little bar here. It's gonna say when we get to above 2 miles an hour. Then I hit resume, and I wait until the steering wheel starts to turn. You want to do this in wide open spaces. And then see, now it's moving. We do that, and then we do it again. Now it's going to turn it to the opposite way, and we click moving again, and now we have done the setup wizard. Cool deal. So we're going to go to manage vehicles. I called that one good 9400 because that one was the one that was messed up yesterday. And then it'll say we're selecting that. Your vehicle you have selected is now active. Now that doesn't control the mapping of this, that controls the steering system. Two different parts here. The ECU and this, that's this setup wizard's main function. The steering and everything else, it comes through this. So if that makes sense to you guys. So for instance, if you take this now out of this tractor, which is an articulated tractor, and put it into a manual front wheel assist tractor, or a row crop tractor that the front wheels turn versus swiveling in the middle, it would think this steering system, the on-track 2, would think that it's still trying to steer an on-track or an articulated tractor versus that front wheel assist tractor, and might not steer very good for you, but it would map still perfectly because it knows what you're mapping, and it looks like you've selected the right one. But as you switch from implement to implement with the steering system, you have to also switch the steering system in the monitor as well. But that's good. We got that fixed up before the guy showed up here this morning, but I knew I heard a pop when I lift this thing up. This is a Landoll vertical tillage tool. I'll talk about this in a different video, but right now it has an issue that's been consistent and a pain in my butt and caused me some serious problems as I've gone through the field here. This is the depth gauge selector here, so when this slides forward, it hits this valve stop right here, and that stops it from going any deeper in the ground. The whole deal with the vertical tillage tool is that you want to go shallow and you want to go fast. Well, when your depth gauge selector basically breaks, it's trying to shove this thing all the way deep into the ground. And so when you come back here and you just sit here and you look at it, it's like, it looks just fine. You're like, yeah, that's about where I want my depth to be. So then you go and you start doing things, and it's like, man, it ain't working very good. It ain't working very good. And then you grab this real quick, and then you go, holy smokes, it's got a broken bolt back there. That bolt continues and continues and continues to break. Very heavy built machine, very light bolts. So since the guys aren't here yet, I'm gonna open up the shed, fix that problem, take it out there, make sure everything's good, hunky-dory, and ready to go for whoever's hopping in there. Hi, sweetheart. Yes, I know. You're excited to plant soybeans too. As a joke, it's really not my sweetheart, honey. So here she is. Probably didn't get the right size bolts. Broke another one. See if one of these fits through here just for now. Probably doesn't. It doesn't. Go find a different bolt. Don't even ask me how many times I just crawled over this bar. Wrong bolt, wrong wrenches. New bolt, had to go up back here. Realized I still had it on the ground, so I couldn't actually set this bolt. Get back out. Oh. Let's just get this done. Somebody needs to head to the hardware store here today and get some bolts. I would assume need to be dang hard and a little bit better of the right size. Let's see if we can steer. But I'm like really sure that this is how I bust my head open someday, right? Doing this stuff. Looks like we're good to go. We're steering here. I got it set that we're at a 12-degree angle to the corn stalks rows that are running perfectly north and south here. What I have not talked a lot about is that I'm actually an ag leader dealer. This is a compass here. This is ag leader's most basic model. It's perfect for tillage in this situation. We're not trying to map anything. We're just steering this tillage piece of equipment. That way we can be effective, efficient, and know where we've been. This tractor will also pull anhydrous ammonia, which doesn't have any markers on it. So that will really be helpful when we get to pulling anhydrous ammonia. This also works great for cattle guys and people that want to spread fertilizer. It's got a WASP globe up on top, so that's free GPS forever, and this is the perfect package for this situation. So if you're ever interested in anything ag leader, let me know. So I added a little bit of depth from one pass to the other here. You can tell that this really isn't really working much at all. It's just throwing the corn stalks out and giving it a little bit of air. And then if we move to this one here, it's definitely being a little more aggressive, but we're getting a little bit more clumps. So I think I need to go back to the shallow. It's still tacky out here. Like I said, we're trying to get something to dry. You weird looking dog. That works for me. This thing should be ready to go for whoever's operating it today. Let's catch up with the guys. We're gonna go around on the ATV, find out where I can plant today. Dad did tillage last night. See if something's laid up and ready to go. Yeah, everybody needs a blue healer. Looks like I've got the chance to fire up and go planting here. Dad and Andrew are going to continue to take care of a few things. We're going to kind of do a little bit of patchy work in this field, it sounds like, and then move around to other farms because parts of it are ready to go and parts of it aren't. What can you do? So the population's a little high right now, so we're going to drop it on the drive sprockets down to where we think it might need to be. Well, it looks like that fix we worked on the KBM2 yesterday got things sorted out here for us. Lowered the population. We're going in at about 160 right now. That's just about as low as this planter is actually set to go without changing a bunch of sprockets, which I would like to do a population plot and go to super low populations, but I don't know if I have the capability of doing that or not with this planter. I'll have to do some more research on that, but I'm thinking, you know, it'd be neat to go from where we normally plant, maybe bump it up some, and then do like 3 and 20,000 plants in increments down to like 100 or 120. That'd be cool. Well, we've made it an immaculate 2.39 acres before we found our first problem of the year. Or maybe second. This might be second. I got a seized bearing on one of my closing mills. So, gotta go fix it. That ain't good. Yeah, that bearing's completely destroyed. When you see the bearing powder and the cap, you know she's done for. So it's broke a little bit more than what I was expecting. Usually these bearings go out, but it looks like the whole casting on this point here is done for. It's out. It's done. No more. Since the bearing's bad in the cast and the housing's cracked on the Martin, we're going to put this plastic one on here. It's not ideal, but in these tilt situations, we should be fine. You snoozing down there, buckaroo? So let's give you guys kind of an overview of what we are looking at here in the tractor. This display right here, it's got the engine RPMs, which I do have it trimmed down right here, so I have it at full throttle. We're running in 11th gear. We're going about 6.2 miles an hour right now. The planter is monitored by this KPM2 right here. Obviously, we're planting pretty darn good. We're running in at about 164,000 beans per acre. The ag leader right here, the Integra, is steering us, and it is also mapping the hybrids for us. And on this box right here, we have the option to run in point rows left or right, and then the marker. You will notice I'm still running with the marker down. It's kind of just keeping in peace of mind that I know that something hasn't happened with the WAS signal and jumped all over the place. So it's really a pretty decent deal to still use a marker, especially if we're going on these big back and forth flats. If I start getting into areas where I got a lot of terraces and things like that to worry about, I tend to stop using the marker. That way I don't accidentally leave it down and rip it off or something like that. What you did to my clean window? Look at all those nose marks. Look at them. I'm going to take a scooper here, move beans just so I can get enough to get to where we're going. Molly decided that she'd come ride with us here for a little while. We're getting pretty close to being not done with this field, but done with what we're doing in this field. I just got to fill up, get that marker up, just the terrace. So we're good to go for a little while, and if I can get this one done, knocked out, we'll head over to the next farm get the end rows in on it, and then we'll probably plant in the dark. I also warned them that you're gonna edit this video, so if there's a lot of shots of my butt, I don't know why. She also brought me a sandwich, just minus the meat, the mayonnaise. We got bread.
It's homemade bread.
It's homemade bread though.
Joke's on you, I poisoned it.
What you two looking at my bread for? Yeah. Bounce and bounce and bounce and bouncing all over the place.
Is wingly tingly a technical term?
Yeah, it's technical, but it's metric, not British standard. She's helping me answer some of the questions from the YouTube video today, which was yesterday. Here we go, guys. The sun's headed down here, so the GoPro's not going to pick up any more light here today. I just finished up the first part of the first field that we were going to try and plant. I'm going to fold up, head to another field, and see if is that a bump?
Yeah.
And see if we can get that planted here. It's probably going to take me well into dark, and the GoPro is not going to pick up any of the light. So we're going to thank you guys for hanging out with us again down here in southern Iowa today. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave them in the comment section below. Maybe I'll try and answer a few of them in a video or something along those lines, as I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time in tractors here coming up real soon. So thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Wayne can mow where the trailer is.
Hey, he can't mow.
What?
He broke one of the new John Deere already and told me he could put the battery charger on and use my zero turn. I told him don't break it though.
Down 2 mowers already. The other day where I pushed that rock up there, did I tell you that? It was like Andrew and I are...
The cement right there at the fuel barrel.
Right at the fuel barrel?
Yeah.
Well, some of that had been pushed back in, and I went along there and kicked all the loose rock off the freaking grass, but it needed to have been raked in there or whatever, because I just kicked it back in the... He went mowing along there. And he was mowing along there, and we were in the freaking shed, and your truck and his car was in the shed, and I stepped out of the shed. I was going to go say something to him, and he was from here to that white door away from me where I stepped out of that south door on your shed, and I seen him looking, and I go, he don't stop. It was like he's going to throw freaking... Smack! Man, a rock hit me just smack dab right there. That held me as dead center right there in the middle of my chest.